Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rookie SDR Show, a place where we talk to many, not just sales leaders, but other individuals that are making an impact within the tech organizations. And today, I have a special guest named Jana, who is a customer success leader with a strong SaaS industry background. She excels in boosting customer satisfaction, revenue growth, and team performance. Trusted by clients as a strategic partner, Jana constantly targets and drives product adoption with expertise in project management and issue resolutions. She thrives in fast-paced environments, delivering impactful results. Jana, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm so good. Thanks for having me. It's a great day and it's sunny here, so I can't complain.
Where are you joining us from?
I live in sunny Tampa, Florida. So right kind of on the west coast of Florida, near the water, and it's been lovely. So I can't complain. I live where people want to retire to. So I'm a lucky person in that way. That lucky girl energy that I have.
Yeah, and I think that's how we met, right? That's how we met. I saw your post on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I reached out to you. You were so responsive, like back and forth, and we hopped on a call. We got to know each other. Like this is awesome. So, Jenna, just so you can give us like an overview, like about who you are, like what you're doing now, and what's next for you.
Yeah. So, when I was kind of preparing for our conversation, I was like, okay, let me think about my career and my jobs and all of the things that I've done through the years. And so in my early, much younger life, I was like a babysitter and did all that stuff. And then I worked at like a sporting goods store. And so you have this collective thing. And so the one thing that I realized through my career that I've done is it's been very people centric. And so in my head, I go, God, I wish I could be a developer. Like, I wish I could sit down in a room by myself in quiet or listen to my music, whatever I'm into that day, and just code away. But the truth is that if I was given that opportunity, I probably would go crazy because I am such a people person. Like, you reached out to me. It was incredibly genuine. And so I wanted to respond. And I will say that has been the gift that I've been given throughout my career is that I've been able to work with really great coworkers, really great clients, and be able to network with great people like you. So when I look to the future, right, I want a role that lets me do that, right? I want to be in a room full of people who are excited to be there, whether that's clients or coworkers. So that's kind of my overall thing.
It's like, what made you go into that role itself?
Yeah, so many years ago, before I was at monster.com, which is a job board, it was very popular back in the day. I was at a staffing firm, and so I had a girl come in, give us a training, kind of go over the product, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, yada, yada, yada. I ended up getting the job that she had. I was a coworker of hers, and they weren't calling it a customer success manager at the time, so this is like 2014. It just wasn't a term that was used. It was account management or something. It was a very weird name they had. And so when I entered that job, we went to a big meeting in DC, and shout out to my boss, Kathy Esterbrooks at the time, who was amazing. If anyone ever gets to know her, work with her, you are a lucky human being. But something she said to me, she goes, what is your exit strategy? And she said this to everybody in the room, and it was like, what are you going to do beyond this? And I didn't know. Like, I just gotten there, and I was kind of shell-shocked. I was like, why would I be thinking about leaving? I just got this job. And as we had one-on-ones and stuff, we talked about where my skills were and what she really saw me doing in the future, and kind of helped me facilitate and hone my craft, which was outreach to clients, that proactive approach, training, enablement, seeing someone really grasp a technology and use it to benefit their day. So I got laid off from that role. Our whole team did. And so she called, and she was in a different role at the time, and she called me to check in on me. We just started troubleshooting. She goes, hey, I really want you to keep an eye out for this role called customer success manager. It's really starting to come up. more often, and I think you would excel at that. And so that's where I went, and so that's just kind of where I sort of started chipping away at, was really looking at client engagement, driving adoption, and it's kind of evolved over through the years, and it's taken on different personalities, I would say, or different tones, different companies, but it's been a really great ride, and I think it was one of those roles that was built for my personality. Right? Like someone who likes people, someone who likes to talk on and on and on and on and on.
Exactly.
And on, but also who likes to listen and help people solve problems.
And I think like that's the misconception when people say like, customer success is part of the sales team. And, just to clarify, could you clarify that for us?
Yeah.
What is the difference between the sales department and the customer success department?
Yeah. So it's going to vary company to company. Some companies have them kind of all rolled into one. That's often called an account manager, right? So they're supposed to be customer centric, but also provide upsells, renewals, multi-threading into other departments to sell into. And some companies will have them very separate, right? And you have a true account manager who is really hyper-focused on sales, the upsells, just that, they're customer centric, hopefully, but they're just very focused on the sales, and they probably have a bigger quota, would be my guess. And then the other piece would be the customer success manager. And so what I think could be a misconception, and obviously this varies from person to person, is how involved a CSM is in sales. And the truth is, even though we're not giving numbers, some of us, right, in some of our roles, some of them we are, but in theory, we're not giving hard numbers. We're not saying you need to sign the renewal, let's get this 6 months early, let's, up your budget, we went up 5%, whatever it is, those numbers. Our job is to show value and have a value prop with every conversation so that when it comes time to have that renewal, well, they can't say no. We've been engaging. They're using the product. We've shown that they've had value and they've been, had an ROI on using the product or this service. So it is sales, but I'll call it soft sales. Sales with like a bow on it versus like, here's the hard cold numbers. We need to get you to sign. And you have an auto 5% upcharge, right? Or whatever you salespeople do. However you guys handle that. I don't want to be involved. So it is a sale, but it's just a softer sale.
And like, I'm sure like whenever you started your career in your journey within the customer success role, like I'm sure there was some pivots and there was some difficult times. Like, what would you say recall like one of the difficult times in your role itself?
The hard parts come, I think, when you feel like you've planned and prepared and you've done everything you can and something just doesn't go your way. So whether it's a client renewing, a project, that you've been initiating. I was with a company for not that long, a while ago, here in local Tampa, and things were going really well, and I had created a whole new department, and it was great, and I had all these great initiatives, and had really scoped out a role and a team. That was exactly what they needed, and it just didn't end up coming to fruition. And so that was really a big setback because I had spent so much time in, creating structure around this new role that they were going to implement, which was going to, it'd be training, basically a training team that they didn't have yet, building the scope of work on that, what that was going to look like, what that team was going to look like. And so that was kind of a big setback because I had spent a lot of hours on that. And so understanding that didn't happen, but I needed to be able to pivot and I needed to be able to be adjustable and to move into something else and find a niche for myself somewhere else within that company.
You mentioned that like you spend a lot of time in the role itself because I'm sure you got to do a lot of research. You got to prepare some demos. You got to prepare a lot. Like how do you keep up with all work and then in your personal life? Like how do you distinguish both of them? throughout your whole
Um,
day?
yeah, I mean, I'm an old school recruiter back in the day. I don't, some people will know this. Blocking your calendar is a big thing. Like from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., that's family time. I'm getting my kid out to school. You know, if I need to run to the grocery store, that's when I'm going to do it. Like that is a set time. Work has its set blocks. And I really am very stringent on the end of my day. Like I need to be able to leave work at my desk and go participate in my family's activities. So that's how I really do it. I try to just block off my schedule so that I can stay hyper focused for a chunk of time on work. And then if I need to take a moment, I've dedicated 10-15 minutes to manage something within the house and then get back to task.
Sometimes I had to kind of take a step back and focus on myself because just like you said, you have to focus on yourself because if you're not okay, then how can you be okay to help potential clients and make the impact in the company itself? But saying all that, like, where do you think your role now with so many new technology coming in, like, where do you think your role is going here in the next 12 months to 2 years?
So I think you're going to have to learn to adjust to the climate change of our economy right now. So here in the US, there's been a lot of tech layoffs, probably around the world as well. You know, being open to other industries, I've been in the tech industry. I've been primarily focused on companies that service staffing and recruiting firms. So being willing, and this is like a lesson to myself, right? To try new things, to learn a new industry. You know, I could go on and on and on about staffing and recruiting, right? Well, what else can I learn? What else is out there for me to know? So being flexible in your product knowledge is really important. And then adapting to all the new technologies that come out and learn how to integrate them within your day. I know that there's a lot of chatter about AI taking over, and right? Well, they can't take over the pieces that customer success are good at, which is those soft skills, that people engagement. Well, how can I use this technology? How can I use AI to either streamline my emails, make my presentations better? Whatever it is you can do to use the technology is only going to benefit you day end and continue to make you valid in your role.
What would you say the way to a salesperson to approach a customer success leader as yourself, like within a new tool, like what are you looking into getting out of a tool?
So when you're going to add a tool to your stack, you need to make sure it integrates with your other tools. I think that's a big piece, right? Like if you're a salesperson and you want me to buy this product, do a little research, just find out if it integrates with my platform. That's super helpful. And then finding out what pain it's going to alleviate. If it can alleviate, let's just say, for instance, you know, my customer journey is a 6-month cycle in which there's X number of checkpoints. How many of those checkpoints can your product help me automate? So that I can have more strategic conversations versus communication that just is not really providing a value, so that I can focus on where the value is versus these things. So if you're a salesperson coming to me, it's helpful if there's just a tad bit of research. I don't expect you to know everything. I would never expect anyone to know anything. Like, that is not your job to know what I do. It is not your job to, like, you know, do a ton of investigation. If you got on the phone and you did a cold call and you called me and you're like, hey, do you use this product? And I'm like, no. And you're like, okay, pivot. I know this might not be a fit for you now, but if you're ever in a position where this is a product that you are using Salesforce, I was using Dynamics for a while, you are using Salesforce, I'd love to have a conversation with you and just nurture that relationship, even though right then and there it's not going to be the right fit. It have to be extensive because, like I said, I would never want someone to spend more than like 35 seconds, right? Like, it's important to have the connect to talk to me because I'm a people person. I would never want someone to like spend all this time and energy and not work out. Like, make it a quick research. What is it? Analysis by paralysis. Like, don't overthink it. Just reach out. Like, it can't hurt.
You seem energetic. You seem positive. Like you seem like an amazing person to work with. Like last company you were working with was LinkedIn, and now you're currently like helping entrepreneur women in tech.
Yeah.
How is that?
So LinkedIn was phenomenal. I was there on a contract role for a year and a half. Unfortunately, they just weren't hiring at the time to able to bring me on, and they had kind of switched some focus as to like who they were hiring and location. So that just didn't work out. But it was an amazing experience, I will have to say. I learned so much from them. They're an incredible organization, and they hire really great people. Every single person that I came across at that company was phenomenal. Right now, I'm currently working, or I should say volunteering, in the Tampa area as a co-chair for the women of tech and entrepreneurship. And so helping them kind of build a platform for women here in the local Tampa Bay area to feel supported in the tech industry, also entrepreneurship. And that's headed up by a really great woman named Rachel. And she's just really inspiring. And so it's been nice that while I've not been working or looking for work, that I'm able to kind of have a few passion projects, some things that I really love to do that it doesn't have a monetary value. It's more invaluable for the soul. So it's been nice to be able to participate in those things a little bit more.
When you're job hunting, it gets overwhelming at times, right?
Yeah.
It's hard right now to get people's attention because you have to be very strategic. You have to do your homework. How do you deal with rejection at a professional level? How does that make you feel, and how do you deal with it?
It's really hard, right? Like you do take it personally. Like I work so hard on my resume. How can you reject it so quickly? I'm a good fit. Like I'm a great person. But it's not about you, right? You are a piece of paper when it comes to a resume and submitting for a job. And I've sent a lot of networking emails. I've sent a lot of messages of just asking people to share the word. I think I might have shared it with you, that little one pager that I made about myself, just like with some quick bullet points that had some like metrics to it, like something that would catch the eye. Mm-hmm. And so it is a lot of rejection, but you just have to hold steadfast in the fact that like you are a worthy person. You deserve to be employed. You deserve to have all the happiness in the world. And I gotta be honest, excuse my language, every now and then I get a rejection and I'm like, you missed out. So you gotta be able to find some humor in it and feel like, okay, well, they're missing out. And you just gotta keep plugging along. Like it sucks. And I tell people that all the time. Job hunting sucks. It doesn't feel good. It's not exciting to get down the path of an interview and ultimately find out it's not going to work. Or even there's been times where I've talked to people about jobs and it was like half the price of what I was, looking for. And they're like, okay, we're not going to move forward. And I'm like, wait, what? So it's just really, but it's a weird market, right? And people, hiring managers are looking for specific things. And you can't make everybody happy, and your background can't have something that appeals to everybody. And so it's about finding the right fit and knowing something good is on its way.
So we notice that companies always are looking for that specific talent. Managers are looking for that right talent. But in this case, what about you? Like, where do you see your next role being? Like, what are you looking for in your next opportunity?
Yeah. So, I mean, probably the big theme of my life is people person, right? I like people. And I want to feel like I've got a really great team. I'm also a big proponent of really wonderful upper management, just right directly above me or even above that. People who have your back, people who are speaking highly of you in rooms that you're not in. Your own advocate, people that are advocates for you, that speak to your work, are able to help you grow in whatever capacity that you need. So for me, big, small, medium, that doesn't matter. I want to know that, I'm going to have a great product to work with, right? We want a product that isn't glitchy per se or has a lot of issues. And I want to know that I can rely on my team members and just in turn that they can rely on me. So yeah, I think it's really about culture, right? Like you can, and same with hiring, right? You can teach someone to to do anything, right? Most tasks are teachable. It's the personality, it's how they engage with you, it's are they coachable. All of those things are what's really important day's end, whether they're your manager or you're managing them.
Wow.
Well, and a sick salary, so like I can, retire super young and I don't know, travel the world. But that's just a whole other thing.
Yeah, you have to come. You have to visit a lot of people globally that you've met throughout this whole career, right?
I need to, of course, obviously.
And Jenna, like if someone was to come up to you right now and said, "Hey, like I wanna jump into the customer success role," like what would you advise them for new people coming into the role itself?
Yeah, don't right now. That's not fair. It's going to be an uphill battle. If you are fresh out of college or very new in your career, yes, transition. There's a few more junior roles. Those are probably going to be a little bit easier to get. If you are mid-career to senior level and you're trying to pivot into a CSM role, that it is going to be harder right now. There's some really, really amazing talent out there right now. And it's just very competitive. If you're an account manager, stay. Learn the craft of being proactive. Learn the craft of having conversations with your clients before they think to have the conversation with you. And that's really part of being a CSM. If you're a customer service rep, I think being a CSM is a great transition. If you're a recruiter, it's a good transition to move into. Now, just take a step back, hone some skills, and then you can start moving there. There is a really great group called the Customer Success Collective, I believe. They're on LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. They have a Slack channel. They have a whole community. They have webinars. Join that. Soak up all the knowledge you can there. There's a really great part where, like, there's some collaborative work, like, hey, I've got a client with this problem. How would you resolve this? What does this mean? So that would be a great place to join to start learning and seeing what kind of questions clients are asking. And then also they'll post jobs there. So you can see the types of jobs that are coming out and see how your skill set matches against that. Another thing that someone could really do if they're looking to pivot into that is go to your company, and if they have a CSM division there, ask them if you can start shadowing or being mentored by one of those.
Yeah, I think the mentoring part like really does help, especially when you're shadowing somebody too. Like you're able to learn, like you are able to learn so much from them without having to read much or watching some videos or something. Correct. When someone explains to you in person, it's so completely different.
I mean, I couldn't imagine a CSM in the world that wouldn't allow someone to join their call that's at their company. Like, yes, of course. Like, it makes the client feel super important that they have extra resources on the phone with them. They could even hand a piece of it off to you to talk about, like a part of the slide, So you're going to have to ask for areas to be involved, and it is a bit of an ask, and it's a little bit of extra work. It will pay off in the end. It is now, just with where we are in the job market, a hard time to transition in. People are just flooding applications. So just be strategic about it is what I'd say.
I want to know if any like organization out there that could hear you right now, if you were to have a 30-second to 1 minute pitch about who you are, right?
Oh no, not a pitch.
Like, if you could say, hey, this is what I do, this is how I did it with X company, how would you describe yourself?
Franklin, I feel like your intro to me was perfect. Can we just have that be my pitch? Could you just say it for me? Like, that would work. I would say I'm a customer success manager who focuses in on customers' initiatives and really ingraining myself in their culture. Not only do I provide value on the relationship sense, but I do data-driven decisions to help them make sure that they're utilizing and engaging with the product that they've purchased.
Awesome.
There you go.
If people want to reach out to you, if people want to find you, want to conversate, whether that's someone like jumping into the role itself or another
message me. I want to help. I will share all the resources that I created for myself. I will share resources that I've helped other people, things that I've seen. Find me on LinkedIn. Jana Cowen, JanaCowen. You can always email me, so it's janacowen@gmail. And I'm here. I'm around. I'm always happy to help. I love my favorite thing is seeing people succeed. So I'm always happy to do a resume edit or help you optimize your LinkedIn. Whatever you need, I'm here to help.
Nice. For any customer success leader out there that's watching this and to want to reach out to you on LinkedIn, what's another different channel, the best way to find you?
LinkedIn and my Gmail, janacowen@gmail.com.
Amazing. Any final words, Jana?
Thank you so much. This has been such a pleasure. It's been such a delight to get to know you and to have this opportunity. So I appreciate it.
Well, everyone, this has been an amazing show today. Jana has an amazing experience, and she has so much energy, you guys can see. Thank you so much for everybody watching, wherever you're watching. And until the next episode.